We're in the Himalayas, lads. This isn't some walk in the park, this is Manali. A raw, untamed beauty perched high in the Indian Himalayas. The air here is thin, but the views are anything but. We're talking snow-capped peaks that pierce the sky, valleys that echo with ancient whispers, and rivers that rage with glacial melt. Over the next few days, we're going to push ourselves to the limit, exploring the top 5 must-visit places in Manali. We'll be trekking through treacherous passes, testing our mettle against the elements and facing challenges that will test the very core of our being. So, strap yourselves in, grab your gear, and get ready for an adventure that will stay with you long after you leave the Himalayas. This is Manali, and this is our story. Right off the bat, we're diving headfirst into the action. Solang Valley, our first challenge. This place is a haven for thrill seekers, a proving ground for those who laugh in the face of fear. Imagine this, the crisp mountain air biting at your face as you hurtle down the slopes on skis, a white blur of adrenaline and snow. That's Solang in the winter, but don't let the summer lull you into a false sense of security. This is when the paragliders take flight, soaring like eagles above a tapestry of green valleys and rocky outcrops. Me, I'm not one to shy away from a challenge. So I strapped myself into a harness and took the leap of faith. The ground fell away beneath me, and for a moment I was suspended between heaven and earth, the wind screaming past my ears as I glided on currents invisible to the naked eye. But Solang isn't just about adrenaline-pumping activities. It's also a place of immense beauty. We trekked through alpine meadows carpeted in wildflowers, the scent of pine heavy in the air. We scaled rocky ridges, our lungs burning with the effort, and were rewarded with panoramic views that stretched as far as the eye could see. We even stumbled upon a frozen waterfall, its icy tendrils reaching down like the claws of some mythical beast. It was a stark reminder of the raw power of nature that permeates this land. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the valley, we knew it was time to move on. But Solang had left its mark. It had tested us, pushed us to our limits, and rewarded us with moments of pure exhilaration and awe-inspiring beauty. Our next challenge took us higher still, to a place where the air is thin and the landscape unforgiving. Rotang Pass, a gateway to the high-altitude deserts of Ladakh. Even getting here was an adventure. The road snaked its way up the mountainside, a treacherous ribbon of asphalt carved into the rock face. Landslides are a constant threat here, and we had to navigate our way around fallen boulders and debris, but the danger was worth it. As we climbed higher, the landscape transformed before our very eyes. Gone were the lush green valleys of Lower Manali. In their place, a stark and desolate beauty unfolded. Towering peaks of gray and brown rocks soared into the sky, their summits capped with snow that glinted like diamonds in the sunlight. Glaciers, ancient and immense, flowed down from the heights, their icy tongues carving deep valleys into the landscape. The air was thin up here, and every breath was a conscious effort. But the views, oh, the views were simply breathtaking. We stood at the top of the pass, the wind whipping at our faces, and gazed out at a panorama of snow-capped peaks that stretched as far as the eye could see. It felt like we were standing on the roof of the world. We even encountered a group of nomadic shepherds, herding their flock of sheep and goats across the pass. Their weather-beaten faces and calloused hands were a testament to the harsh realities of life at this altitude. But there was also a quiet dignity about them, a deep connection to the land that spoke volumes. As we made our descent from Rotang Pass, we knew that we were leaving a part of ourselves behind. This was a place that got under your skin, that stayed with you long after you'd left its rarefied air behind. From the raw, untamed beauty of Rotang Pass, we journeyed to a place of peace and tranquility, the Hidimba Devi Temple. Nestled deep within a cedar forest, this ancient temple is a testament to the enduring power of faith and the intricate link between man and nature. As we stepped into the forest, the air grew heavy with the scent of pine needles and damp earth. Sunlight filtered through the canopy above, casting an ethereal glow on the moss-covered stones beneath our feet. The temple itself is a marvel of ancient craftsmanship, its wooden pagoda-like structure rising from the forest floor like a giant's toy. Intricately carved wooden panels depict scenes from the Mahabharata, the epic Hindu poem that tells the story of Hidimba, the temple's namesake. Legend has it that Hidimba, a fearsome demoness, fell in love with a human prince and pledged to protect his lineage. The temple stands as a tribute to her unwavering devotion and the enduring power of love that transcends even the boundaries of myth and reality. We spent hours exploring the temple complex, marveling at the intricate carvings and soaking up the peaceful atmosphere. The silence of the forest was broken only by the gentle rustling of leaves and the chirping of birds. It was a world away from the hustle and bustle of modern life, a place where time seemed to stand still. As we made our way out of the forest and back into the sunlight, we couldn't help but feel a sense of peace and tranquility wash over us. The Hidimba Devi Temple was more than just a place of worship. It was a sanctuary, a place where the boundaries between the physical and spiritual world seemed to blur. Our journey through Manali's spiritual heartland continued as we made our way to the Manu Temple, a place steeped in ancient lore and surrounded by an aura of profound reverence. Perched high on a hill overlooking the bustling town of Old Manali, this temple is dedicated to Manu, the sage who, according to Hindu mythology, is credited with creating humankind. The climb to the temple was a pilgrimage in itself. We navigated narrow, winding streets lined with shops selling everything from Tibetan prayer wheels to hand-woven shawls. The air was thick with the scent of incense and spices, a sensory overload that transported us to another world. As we ascended the stone steps leading to the temple, we could feel the energy of the place intensify. Pilgrims from all walks of life, their faces etched with devotion, climbed alongside us, their prayers echoing in the thin mountain air. The temple itself is a relatively modest structure, built in the traditional Himachali architectural style, but its simplicity belies the profound significance it holds for Hindus. Inside the temple, we witnessed ancient rituals being performed, the air thick with the scent of incense and the chanting of mantras. It was a powerful and moving experience, a reminder of the enduring power of faith and the deep spiritual connection that people have to this place. From the temple courtyard, we were treated to breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains and the Bees River, its turquoise waters snaking their way through the valley below. It was a view that inspired awe and contemplation, a fitting tribute to the sage Manu, who is said to have meditated in these mountains after creating humankind. After days of pushing our limits and exploring the spiritual heart of Manali, we decided to embrace a different pace of life in Old Manali. This charming village, with its narrow lanes, traditional houses and laid-back vibe, offered a welcome respite from the more adventurous pursuits of the past few days. We strolled through the village, soaking up the atmosphere and browsing the shops selling everything from Tibetan handicrafts to bohemian clothing. The air was thick with the scent of incense and freshly baked bread, a sensory feast that was impossible to resist. We stopped at a local tea house, its walls adorned with Tibetan prayer flags and colorful murals, and sipped on steaming cups of masala chai, the sweet and spicy aroma filling our senses. Time seemed to slow down in Old Manali. We wandered aimlessly, our senses heightened by the sights, sounds and smells of this enchanting village. We crossed rickety wooden bridges over gushing streams, their icy waters cascading down from the mountains above. We stumbled upon hidden courtyards, their walls adorned with colorful murals depicting scenes from Buddhist mythology. And we lost ourselves in the labyrinthine alleys, their cobblestone streets echoing with the laughter of children and the chatter of locals. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the village, we found ourselves on the banks of the Bees River. The sound of the rushing water, the gentle breeze rustling through the leaves, and the distant calls of birds created a symphony of nature that was both soothing and invigorating. We sat there for hours, watching the changing colors of the sky as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the surrounding mountains. In that moment, we felt a sense of peace and contentment that was truly profound. So there you have it, lads. Manali, a place that pushes you, tests you, and leaves you breathless in more ways than one. We scaled treacherous peaks, delved into ancient temples, and even found moments of peace amidst the chaos. Manali is more than just a destination, it's a journey of self-discovery. It's a place where you can reconnect with nature, challenge your limits, and find solace in the beauty that surrounds you. If you're looking for an adventure that will stay with you long after you've unpacked your bags, then Manali is calling. But be warned, this isn't a walk in the park. This is Manali, raw, untamed, and utterly unforgettable.